Alex, the car doctor. In this video, I'm gonna be talking about the top 5 problems that I see in my shop with the first generation Chevy Traverse. It's gonna be a good one today, guys. Now, in my videos, if you haven't seen them before, when I'm talking about the top 5 problems, I'm not talking about how it drives and the gas mileage and comfortability. No, I'll leave that for the other channels. This video is strictly talking about how to keep you outside the road if you own this vehicle, or if you're considering to buy this vehicle to stay away from it or not. Let's jump right into it. Let's jump into the first problem, shall we? As you see, I got the hood strut rigged up. I'm just playing. That's not really a problem. It's a problem across the board on all vehicles. It can be a safety concern. So if your hood is not holding up, make sure you replace your hood struts. You don't want nothing slamming down on your head. Before I get to talking about the real first problem on this, I think this is an 09 Chevy Traverse. They all come with the 3.6 VVT engine. That stands for variable valve timing. The very early models came with the non-direct injected. This one is the direct injected version. Now, GM, they like to share engines. Some vehicles have different engine options. This one only have this one engine option, and they shared across the board on their Chevy Traverses, their GMC Arcadias, their Buick, man, I'm messing up. They, help me out, sweetie.
Enclave, maybe?
Yeah, maybe the Enclave and the Saturn Outlook. So if you have that particular one of those sister vehicles and you're thinking, oh, I'm tired of this vehicle, I'm tired of the problems, and I'm just gonna jump to a Traverse. Well, guess what? You're gonna have the same issues across the board. Just like I have a video of me talking about the Chevy Arcadia, no, GMC Arcadia. So if you wanna check that out, it's gonna be basically like this one. All right, jumping straight into it. When these cars come in, most of the time, the number one problem is going to be this silly purge valve right here. This allows gas fumes to be injected into the engine to be burnt. And when this part goes out, it will stick open, causing check engine light codes. I forgot the exact code. I think it's P044. I don't know.
We'll put it on the screen.
Yeah, somebody gonna drop down in the comment and help you out with that one. When you first put gas in the vehicle, it'll hesitate to crank up. Then after that, it'll run just fine. It'll just cause all different types of codes. So that's the first problem I see with these. It's kind of a GM thing, any GM that comes in here. So I don't know, faulty parts maybe. It's nothing that you can do to prevent this, like I'm gonna mention with some of the other things that I see. Number 2, good people, they use these plastic cooling fittings in the very rear here. Let me see if I can maybe, no, I'm not gonna be able to, I can point to it. Let me rip some of this stuff off. No, yeah, I'm gonna have to rip some of it off. I really wanna show you, so let me take the time and take this apart and I'll be back. Now that I got that mess out the way, you can clearly see what I'm talking about. It's these plastic little fittings right here that always crack, and heck, even this one look like it's starting to leak. I see some wet residue around this one. Yep, bam, they just broke it. They break just like that. Now, put the camera on me. You're probably thinking, why I'm so reckless with this car? Because this is my car. This is actually a story I'm gonna get to it in the end, man. There's peeing everywhere. How about that? But what I recommend the fix for that, if you do have, because you see how easily that broke. It isn't supposed to break that easily. Dorman or some other company make a upgraded part for that. It's all aluminum. I highly suggest you upgrade that right off the bat if you have this truck, because that will cause you to be on the side of the road, or if you ignore it and drive your car while it's overheating, you'll blow your head gasket. Radiator issues, I don't see too much of. So that's not really concerning with me. It's always these little plastic fittings. Number 3, good people, power steering issues. I see a lot of power steering issues with these vehicles. Sometimes the power steering lines, they'll start leaking. This one right here, it'll start leaking. The power steering pumps, they'll go bad. And it's not an easy job to fix on this vehicle, unfortunately. Now, how you can prevent that? It's not really nothing you can do. Hoses are gonna wear out. It's just one of those funny wear items. Speaking of wear items, I'm gonna add an honorable mention. I see a lot of valve cover gasket leaks on the higher mileage vehicles, and they'll just leak and cause dirt build up around this region right here. They'll let you know if dirt is sticking to anything. They'll let you know there's a seep or some type of leak. Also get on the manifold. It'll just be very oily. And to do that job, the intake got to come up. And if you're in there, and this is just an honorable mention, that's why I'm not adding it to the list. So it's sort of like a maintenance thing you have to do. But if you're in there, you might as well do a tune-up as well, because if you come over here, sweetie, get my light right. As you see, you can get to these plugs right here, the front ones. Not even this one, but you can't get to the rear ones. So you have to remove this intake. So while you're back there, just might as well do a tune-up if you're doing anything with the valve cover gaskets. My number 4 issue that I see with these vehicles is transmission failure. Mainly the transmissions fail on these, and this is the transmission right here. From here, let me get my light, I'm sorry. Bam. Starting from right here over is the transmission. And they normally fail because, well, it's simple, because people neglect to change their transmission fluid. This one right here needs to be changed. It looks a little brown. I can't show you. I don't have nothing white to kind of sprinkle it on. But take my word for it. This transmission right here needs to be serviced. People just don't service their transmissions. You're supposed to service your transmission about every 30,000 miles. And on these Traverses, sometimes they'll give little weird issues. They'll be slipping. Mainly just like I just mentioned, just lack of maintenance. Before I get to number 5, my last one, the worst one, I always try to save that for last. I'm gonna do another honorable mention. I see a lot of catalytic converter failures on these particular trucks. And it's basically lack of maintenance. Again, the catalytic converters normally fail because people are not doing their tune-ups on time. That's changing the spark plugs or driving around with some type of misfire. You know you have a misfire is when the check engine light starts flashing at you. That's a misfire, and the engine it's like shimmying as you're going along, and the check engine light just flashing. That'll destroy your catalytic converters as well. And when those catalytic converters get so stopped up, it will destroy your engine. I know from experience, because I'm gonna save it to the end. I'm gonna let you listen to this engine. But that was just an honorable mention. You have to maintain these vehicles. All right, guys, I saved the worst for last. It's a doozy one. This one is so bad, I don't even do them at my shop no more, because if I have to warranty it out, it's a job. And that's gonna be this timing chain. I see this part fail time after time. The timing chain is stretch. It'll throw check engine light codes. If you continue to drive it around, sooner or later, it's gonna completely fail, causing the engine not to start up anymore. In order to do this timing chain, you have to drop the entire cradle. I'm gonna have my wife put up a picture or a clip or something so you can see what I'm talking about. How you can prevent this is basically know what type of oil you're putting in this vehicle. I suggest full synthetic oil, and that will kind of prolong the life of that timing chain. Changing your oil on time, that's another important one. Do not play with this engine. Speaking of maintenance costs with this vehicle is very high maintenance. As you can see, everything is tight up in here. I'm gonna shine my light. It's very tight, and anytime something is tight like this, it's gonna be tight on your wallet. Well, loose on your wallet. Let's say that. Money just falling out your wallet, because this is like, when people think of Chevy, they think of low maintenance cars. Well, this is like owning a BMW or a high-end Mercedes or something. And you look at this and you're like, it's just a Chevy SUV. You know, most people are gonna think low maintenance, right? Wrong. Man, this thing is a booger better maintain. Do I recommend this vehicle? Absolutely not. It's high maintenance. I wouldn't even own one for myself. Do it look good, ride nice? Yes, it does. It got good power and all that good stuff. But as far as owning one and the maintenance costs, it's gonna be very rough on your wallet. So, that's my 2 cents about the Chevy Traverse. Now, I'm not only speaking from a mechanic's perspective. Literally, guys, this has been the Traverse from hell. And I see these Traverses day in and day out into my shop. Now, this particular Traverse is ours. My wife purchased it from an auction. I'm not gonna get into which one. And we put a ton of money into it. Finally got it ready for sale. We sold it and ended up buying it back because of this. That's right. It's knocking like the police. And I don't know why. When we sold it to the guy, it purred like a kid. He sent me a video a couple of days later, and yeah, so
We've done the timing chain. We've replaced the catalytic converter. We've done the timing chain twice.
It's been a nightmare, guys. I'm about to burn this Traverse. No, not really.
How many miles?
160. It should show up in a little bit. It's not showing up. It don't even want to show the miles. Let's see. There you go. 169. 608. That's how many miles. So instead of just burning it and shooting it, that's what I really want to do. I'm actually donating some of the parts to help another family out. This is a Saturn Outlook. Remember I told you it shares the same engine as that Chevy Traverse over there. Now, instead of just straight up scrapping the body or shooting it or blowing it up, which I really want to do, I'm going to actually donate some parts to a family that's in need and help them out. Hopefully, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that Traverse. That Traverse has literally been hell. But guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you do, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and, show your favorite mechanic some love. Hit that subscribe button. Alex the Car Doctor out. See you on the next one.